Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Access 7 Sports. We are at Leibel Field in Regina, Saskatchewan, covering the U16 Boys Soccer event here at the 2014 North American Indigenous Games. I'm Carlin Hariff. I'm with Georgia Graham, and as we see the players just shake hands here with the officials, we'll be getting underway shortly. But this is the first game in the U16 Boys Division, so I'm excited to see what kind of skill these guys will bring to the field today. Georgia's agreeing with me. She's nodding. So with the soccer event, they have U16 and U18 division for both boys and girls. This is the U16 event, BC versus Ontario. We see BC in yellow and blue, and Ontario is in red. So the boys have actually been out here in the rain for about an hour with their warm-ups. The games were delayed a little bit, but we're getting ready to get underway now. U16 boys, I've been to I've seen them play at a premier level in Saskatchewan and national events as well, and I expect to see a lot of speed out here today. Maybe not always the most technical age group, but there should be a lot of hustle, and this is a big deal. Like, this is a huge event, and obviously an international, with international coverage, there's going to be a lot of people watching. This is a good opportunity for these kids to show their stuff. You see BC take the field first. So their keeper is Joel Patsy. We can take a look at the starting lineups here as they take the field. Looks like they will be playing a 4-4-2. Fraser Dodd and Harry Moore seem to be lining up front. We've got Terrell Mowat, number 17, number 12, Clark Matthews, number 32, Josh Wesley, and number 6, Liam Dodd. Look like they're lining up across the midfield. And then 4 at the back. Where are you pointing at here? Terrell Johnson, number 14. Number 31 would be Dion Fowler. And their numbers, I need them to turn around. My eyes aren't good enough. Can you see the numbers for the last two?
Not any better than you. 12? Number 12? Clark Matthews, did you say that already?
Yeah, he's in the midfield.
They have 2 number 12s.
We'll get them. One of them is wearing a captain's band as well. So as we look at BC, Ontario's lined up similar in a 4-4-2. They'll have the ball first. And
looks like we're just waiting for the officials to
straightening some stuff up on the sidelines there. So as we look at the roster, I mean, we've got players with the Ontario roster anyway from all over the place. So there's obviously a tryout and a selection process for the kids to make these teams be able to travel to Regina and represent their provinces. And I mean, you know, the population in Ontario, the number of kids playing soccer, it's obviously a big deal to be able to make a team like this. And Ontario starts with possession here.
Nice ball movement from Ontario. They're very patient so far.
And we see our first foul committed by BC as Ontario tries to work the ball up the right wing there. Taking a second to get it set up.
Looks like their outside midfielder.
Not sure on placement. There we go.
One of their midfielders is going to take it. Oh, that's their back defender now that stepped up.
He looks for the ball up to the middle. The striker gets cleared away. And now we see BC on possession with the ball.
Defender does look for a bit of a switch there. The midfielder was not able to control it.
And that's maybe a handball called against Ontario. So now BC steps up with their first free kick. It looks like a 32. Oh, we did say 32 on the back line. As these guys come up in front of us, we'll be able to maybe get the last, a 92 and a 13. So the last two players starting for BC,
Zach Larson
and Rich Hillis. There we go. We'll also go over the Ontario roster as we have a chance to here.
We've got a throw here for Ontario.
Well played back to the thrower. And we see number 9 for Ontario.
And he does manage to keep it in there. Number 17's got the ball.
So we see a sequence of passes between the midfielder and the defender in that support position just gets intercepted. They look for that width really well, though, Ontario. They seem to be comfortable playing it up the outside of the field. It'll be interesting to see when they start generating some crosses in. BC steps up with a long throw. And something happened. It's so different watching soccer in a booth when you can't hear the action as much.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there either. Maybe there was a shove off the ball.
So we see number 13 for BC switch over to the side of the field. He's wearing the captain's band. So that's Rich Hillis. And they look to set something up. He plays that ball to the striker.
Ontario will wait on the ball back and turn it over here. They're at the BC defensive line. And that number 7 has the ball right now. That would be John Austin Ross.
And we see the first real dangerous chance for Ontario as the ball's bouncing around inside the 6 and nobody can quite get a solid foot on it, but we did see the keeper have to make a save and the defender actually had to clear that ball off the line as well. So we see that Ontario does have some power, some prowess going forward with the ball. One thing that I'm seeing with BC's defense is that back line is staying quite flat as a unit. Nice little through ball. And the shot is played just wide by number 5, which is Aaron Moore for British Columbia, but that was a beautiful little ball played through to him, making a run on the right side. So a chance at one end of the field and a quick counter, and BC looks dangerous as well moving forward.
That just dropped wide too.
Yeah.
Had a nice little curve on it. We'll have another throw here from BC.
He looks for space in the middle and maybe just a miscommunication or misunderstanding of where they were going with that ball. And now Ontario attacks and that ball just sneaks through the defender. And is played just wide.
And that was played by number 6, Lucas Simon.
A bit of an unlucky ball for the BC defender as it just sort of snuck by his back foot. He seemed to be a little bit off balance, and then lucky that the shooter put that just wide. But some good action so far. Nice up and down the field for both teams.
It's a long ball by the keeper that's going to be won by the Ontario defenders. And a clearance will go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that probably would have been better to bring that down and look for a pass. And you're not going to score if you attempt a shot from there, most likely. And it was just mishandled a little bit. But at that part of the field, I think Ontario is going to look to actually settle the ball down and move it, keep possession and move it in and out of feet rather than just clear it downfield. in a situation like that, especially when you're in the attacking third of the field. You can take more chances in terms of footwork and passing. Ontario's going to step up with a throw in here. Number 4, Montana Hayes McGregor to take that, and it's cleared away by BC, so they'll move up the field, and it looks like Montana's moving up to take the throw again. That's well kept by BC, by the BC player there, and they still are scrapping for it, but he finds his support pass.
Nice to see the midfielder drop there for Ontario. He came back to help his defender. And cleared away there by the keeper. Not sure, I think he probably could have picked that up. Might have been better.
Yeah, I don't think it was passed back, but sometimes I guess you're better safe than sorry. For those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with soccer, just tuning in, the goaltender is not allowed to pick up a pass that is played back to him intentionally by his own player. That's considered a handball, so you can use the keeper as a supporting player if you want to pass it back to them if you're sure of their feet, but the keeper cannot pick that ball up if it's played by his teammate. We think that one was not played intentionally back by his teammate, but he chose just to clear it away instead rather than risk the handball.
So that was number 32 who played the ball in for BC, and it did go a little bit wide, and Ontario was able to clear it out of the back end. Now see the play up at half. Nice attempt at a through ball.
BC looks to use their wings as well. That ball played just out of bounds, but one of the basic concepts in soccer is the idea of expanding the field using the width to attack. It's a really easy way to spread out the team's defense and then create those gaps through the middle of the field, which is the more dangerous scoring opportunities through the middle, but a lot of times you'll build up on the outside, create that space, and then look to drive it into the middle once you've found the gaps. And now Ontario's moving up the field with a throw-in. Number 17 for Ontario is Jeremiah Bridge.
And he will see to cut it back into the middle there. Seen a bit of panic on both teams' ends, but a lot on BC's. They're not playing the ball to feet very often. On both their goal kicks, they dumped it into space rather than playing it to feet of their players, and they're losing the ball that way rather than keeping possession. They're also playing a lot of high balls, and they don't seem to be able to control those.
And looks like Ontario's got the free kick here just inside of BC's half, so everybody's sort of BC's defensive line is dropped right back to the 25-yard line. They'll look to clear that away, and they do. It's a good step by the defender there to get first to that ball. And they do find a bit of space on the wing for number 5, but is well defended by number 2, Darren McGregor for Ontario.
And played out again there by Ontario. That was number 17, Jeremiah Bridge.
So we can see the and that's a good opportunity. Play just to the side of the net. I got distracted and lost my train of thought. I don't know how he snuck into the 6 like that.
It looked like the defender misplayed it, went to control it, and it went up and over him instead. I actually kind of thought it looked like a handball from up here, but that's probably not what happened. And play back into the midfield. It's not necessarily the best place to put that ball, especially at midfield. They should have played that out.
And another foul committed by BC. So we see Ontario sorted out. Who's going to take the kick here?
And it will be number 19, Cordell.
Are we trying to say his last name?
Maybe. And that ball will just go out before number 17, Jeremiah Bridge, can get to it. So it will be another goal kick. It looks like the keeper... Oh, he is going to take it. I'd like to see him play this short or 2 feet. It looks like he's going to send it long again.
He's getting good distance on those, but they're not able to get to them first.
BC doesn't seem to be stepping up to them. We've got number 5 here on the run.
Just a bit of a miscommunication. There were sort of 2 BC players in the vicinity of that pass, and neither of them got to the ball. Number 5 for BC, Harry Moore. He definitely is an attacking player. You can see him try to do work with the ball, not scared to take on those defenders. And hustle. He's running again.
And he will get another throw here. Ontario's doing a good job of closing down the sideline by double teaming. We'll see their defenders and their midfielders slide in and take the ball. And we'll get another shot off just the outside there.
A little bit of deja vu on that one as number 32, Josh Wesley, snuck into that near post again.
And the Ontario keeper will give the ball away there. See if BC can possess the ball with their feet and turn it here. A nice try, just played it out. So this will be an Ontario throw.
Number 7 for Ontario, John Austin Ross again. He looks like a big kid. He's got some size out there. I'd like to see him maybe, if we get an opportunity on a corner kick or something like that, I feel like he could probably go up and win a ball in that 6-yard box. Good job of dropping in the midfield by Ontario to shut that down before BC could build anything. And double teamed again on the sideline.
And again, Ontario seems to be very patient with their ball movement. A nice through ball there from number 6 to number 16, who will keep it in. And BC will clear it.
BC wins the throw-in now down in Ontario's end. We've seen them generate some chances off of these set plays. The long throw is mishandled a little bit again by BC, or by Ontario's defender, so they play it out, and here we'll see a corner kick for BC. So our first corner of the game.
Number 32 is going to step up and take that. Josh Wesley.
He's the one that finished, or had those 2 shots go just outside of the post, so.
We can see his arm go up. He's telling his teammates he's ready to kick it.
That's a nice ball.
Very nice ball. Too bad the midfielder couldn't capitalize. I didn't see what number that was that touched it.
It was number 12, I believe. Clark Matthews got a foot on it and just directed it wide. But that was a really nice corner kick, sort of just outside of the 6-yard box, nice and high. It went over a bunch of defenders And Ontario actually got lucky on that one because Matthews was unmarked and basically had a free shot on net.
Yeah, he's in a very good position. Had he got a foot on that, I think he would have beat the keeper. Number 12 is definitely working hard for that ball there. Clark Matthews again. Well up from the Ontario defender. And Ontario regain possession here.
That's a high one.
Up.
Those are so hard to judge. And they're still looking for it. It keeps bouncing over their heads. Here we go. Ball is...
That's a nice step there. And number 5 has the ball again. And we'll play it wide and out.
And we're going to
be a foul.
Yeah, we'll have a foul down near the end zone. So BC will have a free kick. And we're going to see our first substitution of the game here for Ontario. No, I don't think he would allow the sub to come in on BC's possession, but... Oh, he is.
There's actually no rule. The ref can let them sub at any point in the game, even if it makes them wait.
It's supposed to be at their discretion and not delay the game, but everyone has different discretion. And so we see number... Where did he go? We'll get numbers here for him. That's 15 that came in. So Noah Carter.
I didn't see who went out. We do see number 7 here carrying the ball up. And it was cleared by the BC defenders. And BC has maintained possession.
There they go. They find their winger up the left side, who is going to turn on number 15, our sub. Looks to cross it in, and it's just a bunch of Ontario defenders.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in there, and no BC players.
So that's a good job of Ontario, everybody getting back, dropping into that middle of the field to take away any real scoring opportunities through the middle. And a bit of an incidental foul there. Just sort of got tangled up as number 17 was making a run on that left wing.
We did see the ref look for advantage, but there wasn't any, so he made the call.
And instead of sending that ball long, he looks for his open midfielder, who had all kinds of space in the middle. Now they find the player on the right wing. And BC defender just has to step over and clear that ball out of bounds.
Nice turn by number 6, Lucas Simon. And he'll pass the ball off there to number 7. And we see a shot.
Gets a little shot away.
Easily caught by the keeper. A little bit misjudged there by number 2. And that will give BC a bit of a break.
Ball.
We see number 5 here. He's in the box. He will get a shot off. That was also saved by the keeper.
Yeah, so he did well to cut into his left foot. I wonder if he's a natural lefty or just a little bit ambidextrous there. Number 5 for BC, that's Harry Moore.
Yeah, and I don't know who the keeper is for Ontario. He's not marked here.
Well, we could play process of elimination, so we know it's not
17, 19.
Okay. So if we can locate everybody else on the field. We see BC still pressuring hard. And one of the things that we've seen a bit from defenders on both ends is just a tough time handling some of those balls that are coming in, either played in long or high. trying to clear on first touch and misjudging it, or just not getting a solid connection, and that can be dangerous because one bad bounce is all it's going to take. We see number 7 making a run up the left side of the field. He's being double teamed right now, and he's got no help, so he just does well to hold on to the ball, plays back to support.
Right idea there. He also had a support pass that number 17 could have turned back with, instead of playing it right back to where the ball came from.
So it was a little bit delayed, but the support did catch up to number 7 there, and the Ontario players did a really good job of shifting over, so we saw that all their left players filled into that space to provide the support, and we saw their center defenders actually shift over to the left side of the field as well and become part of the play. And Ontario will have a throw in here.
Nice control from number 6, Lucas Simon. We see number 17, Jeremiah Bridge, who had the ball there.
Nice little through ball.
Nice cleared out by BC, and that will be a corner kick for Ontario.
So that was some nice ball movement for Ontario. Building up, didn't result in a shot on net, but you could see where they were looking to play that ball back to number 7 right in the middle, and the BC defender did manage to intercept that pass, but really nice idea, nice looks for Ontario's attack.
Come on, Rod, you can do it! Come on, boy!
And so we'll see Ontario's first corner kick of the game. Well done to get that on net. Nice little flick.
The keeper for BC made a nice save.
It's at the corner. Corner kick. Not there, 17. It's at the corner. Put out.
So these are the first games for the U16 Boys division, but there were soccer games in some of the other divisions today. We'll go over some results from those games as well, if my handy little application will open up here. You have to think this is a pretty cool experience for these kids to be a part of. I know opening ceremonies yesterday was huge. I mean, they have their games televised. I can only imagine if I was 14 or 15. I'm sure it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but a pretty cool experience.
I remember playing in Canada games and SAS games when I was a kid, and yeah, it is nerve-wracking. It is exciting, though. And we're going to see a free kick here from just outside the 18. It was cleared away by the defender who was on his goal line. Number 17, Jeremiah, will race to keep that in.
That was a cheeky little ball. I think that would have gone in far post. It went over the outreached keeper, but the defender did well to stay on his post and play that ball away.
Overlap.
Number 17 does well to dribble away from 2 defenders, finds his midfield support.
And we have seen Ontario literally switch the ball from one side of the field to the other in 3 passes. It's nice ball movement. This will be a BC throw, number 14, Tyrell Johnson. I'd like to see him again. Oh, he's going to put that down. Number 13 is going to come take the throw. It's Rich Hillis. And I'd like to see them put it to feet, not just to space. There we go. Nice ball. And well controlled and played back.
While you're enjoying today's match, don't forget to stop in and check out our concession located to your right on the main level for all of your food and beverage requirements.
Go, Riley!
So Ontario's got possession right now. We see them try to work up through the midfield. BC does intercept that pass, and there's a smart little pass by number 5 as well, leading his forward out into some space on the side. Good hands by the keeper on a cross that came in from the right side of the field.
Ontario is maintaining possession here and moving the ball forward.
Number 17 is a strong dribbler.
He has very good ball control. However, there were 2 or 3 times there when he could have laid that ball through for number 7, and it would have been a nice play.
And that's a great through ball.
Keeper's forced to come out and make a save on that one.
And we believe the keeper's name is Kyle Crest. We finally solved the puzzle, but that was very heads up for him to challenge that ball because number 5 was making the run one step further, and he would have had that chance on net.
And that is definitely one of the hardest things to teach a keeper is once they make the decision to come out, commit to it. The worst thing they can do is start to come out and then hesitate because that opens up the net for the forward to put a shot off.
We'll see a substitution now for BC. That's number 14 leaving the game, who is Terrell Johnson, the left back. And coming in was number 19, I believe, Josh Grant. I'll have to get a look at his jersey and make sure, but so that's a sub on the left defensive spot there.
And the keeper there mishandled that ball and ended up playing it out for a corner kick, so we'll see it come back into his box.
That's another great corner kick, which results in a goal for British Columbia. I'm very impressed with the power and the height that he gets on those corner kicks.
It was a very nice ball.
We see a great celebration by BC.
Is that number 12?
I think it was number 12. Do we have a replay coming up here? And that's the same player who put the first corner kick just wide earlier in the game when he didn't get a clean touch on it. This one he finishes with his head, and it's Clark Matthews with the goal for British Columbia.
Is that their 3rd corner kick of the game for BC? 1 in 3 corner kicks is what they say you should score on.
Well, there you go.
Bravo. Good for them.
We have some fan action out here now, too. Actually, there's a good little crowd out watching the game, and the rain stopped, so it's a nice afternoon. And that's one of those things where I would say Ontario's had a bit more possession. They've moved the ball and tried to create some attacks more so than BC has. But BC seems to be a really quick counter team, and it's just going to take that one chance for them to pot their goal, and that's exactly what happened.
We've definitely seen Ontario hang on to the ball too long individually. They've had a number of chances where they could have played it through to another player and maybe generated a scoring opportunity, but they choose to hang on to it instead and end up either losing it or playing it out.
We see another sub happening for Ontario. It's number 3 leaving the game. Marlon, Kapashicit? Sorry, Marlon and Marlon's family. And coming into the game, we'll see when he turns around and grab a number here.
Bright orange shoes.
Number 5, I think. Chase. Also, sorry, Chase, that I can't pronounce your last name.
Sinaway?
Welcome to the game.
I like his shoes.
Yes.
I also like the one guy's shoes that's pink and blue. He's in the defensive line.
Literally, one of them is pink and one of them is blue.
Yeah.
see a long clearance by the Ontario defender, headed back in by BC, and there's a miscommunication where two players tangled up. Neither of them got a very good clearance on the ball.
And is that number 5 with the ball again?
Yep, dribbles it back, finds a support pass. And number 12, Clark Matthews, the goal scorer, will eventually play that into the middle of the field. Wow, smart little ball by number 32.
Quick through ball, very nice. And that will be a BC throw.
One thing I think I would like to see from BC is a little bit more shifting or movement out of their defenders. There we see the left back step up into that space a little bit, but they have 3 staying at home all the time. And if we can just shift over, you add that extra attacker. Now we're going to see here another corner kick for BC. And again, they've got 3 defenders stay at home in a straight line, whereas I think you could have one run up into that short pass position or one join in the attack on the back end.
Could definitely put number 31 there because number 32 has such a long kick, he could fill in and
just sort of those garbage balls like exactly like that one did, just cleared through the 18 and nobody on the far end to knock it back in. But again, number 32 with beautiful delivery on the corner. So you have to think set pieces is something that BC focuses on a lot. They obviously have a game plan. They obviously have a designated corner kicker. And
he's been taking a lot of their throw-ins too on that side of the field.
And I mean, 1 for 3, so they're right on par.
Oh.
Good tough defending by BC. The ball gets knocked back up to half, bouncing around a little bit.
Ontario is scrambling a little since they've been scored on. They seem to be not recovering very well.
And again, we see that through pass for BC and a quick counter. So rather than building through the middle, they really look to send that ball into the gap and have somebody make a run onto it. Here we go.
Number 32. And they're going to hold back their defenders again.
Yeah.
Number 5 is hanging out at the top of the box.
Great
Same
delivery.
spot.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Right back to the top of the box.
There you go.
Ontario did a good job of dropping their defenders in there. They had about 6 behind.
They've got the numbers back. Again, that opportunity sort of started off a miscue. Just not a good clearance on the first touch, and it ended up bouncing back into the middle of the field. But they maintained their composure pretty well to end up winning that ball. Nice first touch for number 9, and then just runs out of room in the middle. And again, a through ball into the corner. We've got number 5. Looks for his support.
BC's doing a good job of maintaining possession along the sidelines.
And sort of a high lobbing ball towards the net is scooped up by the keeper, no problem. And he looks for their target man, number 7, up top, but is intercepted, or I guess defended away. BC dumps up the line again. And we will see Harry Moore make that run. Number 9 does well to win a corner. Some nice dribbling in pressure. And we will see Josh Wesley slide over to this side of the field now for the corner. Yeah, I really want one of these defenders to step up in on the action.
Yeah, I mean, we got 31s kind of sneaking up here a little bit, but not enough to really be in the play.
Another long ball delivered in. I think it was 92 for BC. Zach Larson, who got a touch on it.
It's a long played ball by the keeper, and it will bounce in between some of the BC and Ontario players there. And going to be cleared up for a throw. And number 11, Jackson Crest will side over.
We have just under 8 minutes left here in the first game of the U16 Boys Soccer Division at 2014 North American Indigenous Games. We're on Access 7 Sports live, being picked up across the country, as well as streaming online. So thank you for tuning in. You see number 17 working for that ball, and he will get the foul called. So we'll have an Ontario free kick around the 35-yard line. Oh, it's just a throw-in.
Yeah, I think the defender played the ball first, and incidentally, number 17 tripped over him. That wasn't necessarily a foul.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very a malicious foul by any means.
Nice play by number 17. BC, well done on closing that channel down. It is sometimes hard to tell from this angle whether the ref saw a foul or not.
Yeah, and I actually couldn't even see the ref, so I just assumed. But.
And that will go for a corner. Oh, no, he's going to call it a goal kick. It looked like there didn't touch the Ontario player, but it must have.
Or maybe.
Or did he call it a handball? Foul? I'm not really sure what that was.
We don't know. Joel Patsy, the keeper for BC, is taking the free kick from the corner of BC's end. And
it's a good thing that BC won that ball. It was
their
low,
keeper,
and their keeper had a long way to go to get back.
A long way out, yeah. Nice step in by the defender. And another pretty through ball.
BC definitely has some speed on their hand up front.
You can tell they have strategies. They have they want to attack a certain way, and it's working for them. They've generated chances off of that through ball, and they've generated chances off of their corner kicks. So you have to think those are things that they're really focused on in their game plan. I really don't think that these teams get a lot of game film on their opposition, so it's not like you would come into this trying to attack a certain way because it's Ontario and they defend a certain way. So I would think that this is just the style of game that BC plays, is set pieces and through balls, and that was a nice opportunity for BC as well.
There was no panic on the part of the Ontario keeper there. He did well on that. The ball will go fully out there. You'll see that the ball actually has to fully cross the line to be called out, so if it rolls on the line, it is still in and it still can be played. And we have a player that went down there. It's like when he stepped in on the ball, he might have just caught a kick from the BC player trying to play the ball as well.
And here we see a nice little sign of sportsmanship. We've actually got the BC player helping this guy stretch out, helping him back to his feet. Maybe he's not ready. I actually saw that player, so that's number 5, Chase. He got subbed into the game for Ontario. And earlier, I saw him sort of holding on at his knee or maybe his quad.
Yeah, it looks like from the replay there might have been a little bit of a hyperextension even. It didn't look very nice.
Or if it's something that was already bugging him. So he has exited the field of play over here. Did he go back on?
I actually can't see him down on the
I think
sidelines
he might
anymore.
just be down in front of the stands here, stretching out. I don't see a sub coming in for Ontario. No, somebody has subbed in. Yellow shoes running on the field, so that's unfortunate that we will see that player for Ontario now leaving due to injury, presumably. One thing I'm not sure of with this tournament is if they have maximum substitutions. FIFA international competitions, I believe it's 3. I know that U16 provincial teams, for example, or at nationals, it's 5.
And unlimited at half.
Unlimited at half, so you could sub everybody, but to use your substitutions during the game time, it's a maximum of 5. So I'm not sure, because we've already seen a number of substitutions early in this game. We're just under 2 minutes to play. It is still 1-0 for BC. And the keeper's just retrieving the ball from the back of the end zone there. We're at Leibel Field in Regina here. We're just next to Douglas Park, which is the track where many of the main track and field events are held in the city, provincials when they're in Regina, high school competitions. And this is a new facility, multi-use. It's a partnership between Regina Minor Football, and it's obviously used for special events and Regina soccer leagues. It's a beautiful field.
And just as we see that ball go in, they're allowed a maximum of 5 subs the whole game, and unlimited at half.
Okay. So thank you to Dennis for handing us a list of rules here that we can refer to. So I'm actually surprised then with the number of subs that we've seen this early in the game.
That'd be number 3 for Ontario, right?
And they made 2 quite early. And then you have something like an injury that comes up, and all of a sudden you're short bodies. So hopefully that doesn't become the case, but something to keep an eye on in the second half.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you have an extra sub or 2 for injuries, because anything can happen, especially at a high-level competition.
So we are through 45 minutes of game time. We'll see if the referee allows for very much added or injury time. We are going to see this corner kick, so at least a couple of minutes. It was a fairly clean first half, though, just the one sort of injury, a couple of substitutions, and not too many fouls.
No, and most of them were just
incidentals,
catches of the foot, and yeah, it was nothing major. We haven't seen any slide tackles or anything of the sort yet either.
Number 32 plays the ball in off the corner.
That one was a little bit shorter than what we've seen him play previously.
He will get a second go at it, though, as it's cleared away by the Ontario player of the back line. And he took that one quickly. He barely let Ontario set up for it. And there we will have the final whistle for half. It's 1-0 for British Columbia over Ontario.
Team Ontario 0.
And as we go to half here, I guess we can recap the first half. What are some of the things that you saw from, let's say, Team Ontario?
We saw a lot of possession early on, and once that goal was scored, I kind of saw them fall apart. They looked a little panicky there. They didn't really regain their possession.
Yeah, they definitely didn't generate as many chances going forward, and initially I felt like they were more attack-focused team. BC really quick counterattacks with those through balls looking to the corners or to their strikers to make the run onto them. And then, of course, scoring the goal off of a beautiful corner kick.
Yeah, BC capitalized really well on that corner kick. And they seem to be playing the ball to the same place, so we could see them capitalize on a few more.
And unless Ontario makes that adjustment and obviously takes into consideration what they've seen from BC's attack now.
We've also seen a lot of speed from BC up front. They are definitely outrunning those defenders for Ontario when they play those through balls. Ontario is good at closing in. They play the umbrella very well.
Yes, the umbrella. So that's another trick that we use to teach spreading the field when you're attacking and shutting it down, closing and condensing the middle of the field when you're defending to take away that space. And you're right, Ontario, there was times where we saw 6 or 8 Ontario players inside their own 6 really shutting it down, but we mentioned earlier all it's going to take is one chance for a quick transition team like BC. Ontario, I think they'll need to start moving the ball a little bit sooner. 1-2 touch maximum passes, and instead of dribbling into the defenders and shutting down their own space, just try to keep it open, keep the ball moving quickly, and then hopefully end some of their chances with a shot on net. All in all, though, I'm fairly impressed with the skill level, the vision of some of these players to be playing those through balls and playing those little tic-tac-toe passes on the sideline. Obviously, train hard, well coached in systems and strategies, because you can see very clearly that they have a game plan. In Ontario, it'll be important for them just to regroup and refocus, come out in the second half and settle down, because you're right, they definitely panicked a little bit after that goal was conceded.
This is a close game. It can go either way. There's 45 minutes left, and one quick goal can lead to a tie or another counter goal. This game could go either way.
Graham, do you need us to talk through the whole half? Okay, so we are going to send to break here. Thank you for tuning in for the first half of this BC versus Ontario game at North American Indigenous Games in Regina, and we'll be right back.
Hi for that dance. The next dance we'll portray is the dance of our traditional dance. If you've seen the young men, the U16 boys do the straight style of dance, we're going to do a Tashi corner, and now we're going to do the sneak up dance. It's a dance of old days of back in the day of a band Little Big Horn. These days that we challenged the enemy. We challenged the enemy 4 times to show him that we're not afraid. We don't back down from him. So when our veterans, our First Nation people, when the war started happening, they would go overseas to these wars that weren't ours, but they got themselves involved because of our land, our people here in Canada. And at that time, they would take paint, not this grease paint, but wash-safe paint, a feature of the old days. And one of the veterans came home to carry the kettle and told a story that when he had that paint on, he could see the bullets coming, going by him. And things like that, that we had the smell of sweetgrass in the air, in the foxholes. So you come home and tell this story to us young men, our fathers pass it on to us, to portray the style of dance that will do this style of the sneak-up dance, war dance. Hi, thank you again. As you may have watched and realize that you hear the hard drumming when you hit the drum hard. That represents cannon or 30 rifle shots at us. That when we try to duck them and dodge the bullets, imaginary that that's how it's happening. Because even then, the soldiers have spirits. Soldiers are out there, and the First Nation spirits that we had battles over our people, our land, our way, government ways.
Welcome back to Libel Field in Regina, Saskatchewan. You're watching Access 7 Sports, and we're bringing you today from the North American Indigenous Games, the U16 Boys Soccer between BC and Ontario. Right after this, we will actually also be covering the game between Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So it's a little double header here from Libel. I'm Carlin Harriff.
And I'm Georgia Graham.
And we are just watching the teams take the field here for the second half action. It's 1-0 BC off a pretty goal from a corner kick. But chances both ways, definitely, for both teams.
Looks like Ontario is ready to go here, and BC's just finishing their cheer.
So if we had to make coaching points at half, Team Ontario, what do we say?
Look to pass sooner. Definitely holding on to the ball too long in the midfield.
And I think it's important for them to just regain their composure. I would say they dominated possession in the first bit of the first half. Once they were scored on, you could definitely see them a little bit more panicky.
Maybe a little more communication, and they definitely need to continue closing down the space. They did very well at that, and they need to continue that in the second half.
For BC, I think it's about just keeping their energy up. All their chances have come off of pretty quick counters. They look to play through balls to send their wingers and their forwards on runs up towards the net, as well as their set pieces off the corners is where they've generated their chances. So I think for them, it's about just continuing to play their game and keeping their energy up.
I would also like to see them talk a little bit more and to be first to the ball. They seem to be letting them bounce, and that has cost them a few bounces that could have went their way because Ontario was quick to jump on them.
There we look. First look from BC is to try to send that ball through to the corner, and it's just a little bit long, so we'll have a first goal kick for Ontario.
That is the one thing about playing on turf. The ball moves quickly. You can think you didn't put enough on it and end up putting way too much.
Definitely an adjustment from a grass field.
There's a nice chest control there, number 5, and he will look to get a shot off, and it is wide.
So we've got a defender actually stepping up to take this goal kick as the keeper returns to the field of play. It would be kind of nice to see some volunteers in the end zone shagging those balls for the goalies so they don't have to be running back and forth so much.
BC is working very hard to control the ball here.
Great cross across the front of the net, just past the outreached hands of the keeper on the ground. And it looks like maybe the goalie tipped that away. I think we're getting a BC corner kick here. So we already know number 32 is their corner kick taker, Josh Wesley. Excellent delivery, long high balls into the just outside of the 6-yard box for the most part. And that's number, where did he come from?
Number 8.
8. So he might be a substitution because I don't remember mentioning him in the first half, but that's Tyler Matalone. And he made a nice run from the midfield to get ahead on that corner. Just wide. We see another long ball played into the middle, and that's unfortunate. The Ontario striker turned to try to run onto it, and instead it hit him in the back.
We saw BC try to play another through ball there. Ontario did read that very well, and they shut it down.
Yeah. You have to think that was part of their halftime speech, was take those angles and those gaps away, because it's obviously what in BC's plan of attack.
We see a throw here for Ontario. BC is doing a very good job of stepping up right now. They have stepped up to every ball, so that must have been something that they brought up
right
at halftime.
And in the first half, we talked about how their back line was really staying quite flat and far back from the play as the ball moved forward. So it's a bit of an adjustment for them to be challenging up a bit sooner. Yeah, I mean, all three of them have stepped up past half. They're not in a flat line.
Oh, and that was a nice cross from number 32. It did hit the Ontario defenders and go out. So we'll get to see another corner kick here. I think this is 8 or 9.
Yeah, they've had a lot of them now. So they should be due to score again if your 1 and 3 stat is correct. We should be seeing another corner kick goal here anytime.
And
that ball's just played not inbounds, so that's the least successful corner we've seen played in by Josh so far.
The Ontario keeper seems a little bit slow to get set up. He's been working hard this game. And he will. And that will be an Ontario throw. Number 18 is going to step up for it, Dawson Roy. And here we see Ontario with possession again. Let's look to see that they're going straight back
really
to the same
pressure.
side that they are. And the other side of the field is wide open.
The keeper for Ontario scoops that up.
And he does have a number 1 on his back. We guessed right. A little miscommunication there from the BC midfielder and forward.
Ooh, that could have been a scary collision.
A little one-handed grab from the keeper. BC really wants another goal here.
That's number 6 on the ball. That's Liam Dodd, and he made a nice little run up the side and just couldn't get that cross in with his left foot. Tried to force it. We'll see another goal kick taken by the defender for Ontario. Another ball played long into the middle.
A little bit of a panicked clearance from BC there. Maybe not enough communication. The defender probably had enough time to bring that down. And same thing again.
Short throw.
And he will get called, I believe,
yeah,
lifting his foot. It's a very nice long throw from the BC defender, number 13.
And that'll probably be another corner kick for BC. So we will see Josh Wesley jog across the field here to set this one up. They don't have a lot of bodies in the box right now. 1, 2, Liam Dodd is sliding in there.
They did push their same side defender up short.
There we go, yeah. And a nice run in again from that midfielder spot to get his head on it. So,
and well done on their defender again for staying on his post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ontario's going to have to take a look here, and we've obviously, BC's a set-piece team, and we're going to see number 8 probably make a run in. Ontario's just going to have to communicate and be aware of where the BC players are coming in from and stay with that man.
And looks like there must have been an infraction there on the keeper as he went up because the ref has called that.
He did get bumped, and that happens. Again, the game's been pretty clean. There haven't been any dirty tackles or anything. It's mostly been just the kinds of bumps that happen in the course of a game. You're going up to win that ball, and you might run into somebody once in a while.
In anything in the box, you cannot obstruct the keeper from getting to. So if you're in his way and he moves, that will be his ball.
There you go. So BC keeps possession. They'll look to build up the left side of the field here. And the ball is saved in, then cleared by the Ontario defender.
The assistant referee did flag that one as out.
Matthews looks to take a long shot. Gets deflected by a defender before it can get to net, but coming from that distance, keeper shouldn't have had any problem with it anyway. Now we see some bodies flying around.
Looks as if the ref is going to give a warning here. We may see a yellow card come out. I didn't really see what happened there. I did see the original collision between 7 and 13, and 7 did complain a little. And then it looked as if maybe there was some shoving going on afterwards, and we will see a yellow card.
7 for Ontario, who is John Austin Ross. He got laid out pretty good.
You do need to wait for the whistle on the play there before you can send it in.
Which, I mean, BC was ready for that. They've been dropping everybody on all their on all Ontario's goal kicks. BC's had everybody back pretty much right to half, so they are definitely defending their lead, but still generating some opportunities going forward as well. We'll see Ontario try to drive this ball up the right wing.
We've also seen Ontario move some of their players around. They've moved number 17 off the wing and into the middle in the midfield. See BC with a quick attack.
Kind of an awkward clearance for the defender, ended up working out quite nicely, playing it to his midfield. And then that's Clark Matthews again with the long shot. We've got all the defenders and midfielders for BC. Drop back almost to half. Now you see him fill in the gaps a little bit as Ontario plays the ball up into the middle. And it is Matthews with the first touch. And sorry, that was number 13 for BC. That's Rich Hillis, who ends up with the first yellow card of the day.
And BC with a throw, and number 32, which is Josh Wesley, will come up and take it. Long and in the box there.
Has to be handled by a defender, and results in, ultimately, that hit the post, so we'll see if he calls it a goal kick or a throw-in. But it will be Ontario's ball. And we see everybody shift over to the near side of the field here in front of us.
Did go up for a
throw. This is a dangerous spot for Ontario, like trapped down in their own end. But it's cleared out.
If they can keep BC outside, they'll be okay here. As soon as it gets switched to the middle, this could be a problem. It will be cleared by the defenders from Ontario.
I think that one's out for a corner kick this time, so we will see Josh jog over and take his corner again.
Guys, gotta cover somebody.
Ball's played in, another well-played corner. And number 5 for BC, Harry Moore, he was open at the top of the box pretty much, and he definitely had that shot available, but he just popped it up and over. We're having pest control happening here in the broadcast booth. There's a fly the size of a small bird in here.
Ontario's got a free kick here, just over half. We haven't seen a lot of action in the BC half yet.
No, we really haven't.
It's a nice played ball.
Yeah, that almost looked like a page out of BC's book, actually. Play it out to the corner. And this is an... no. Such a good opportunity.
Those are the worst when they happen.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, it happens to everybody. You get so excited, your eyes light up, and you know how good this could be. You lose that focus for 1 second, and next thing you know, the ball's rolling past your foot. But
again, we see BC with their quick counter.
yeah, we're right back in Ontario's end. BC pressuring again. But that was that free kick that generated that would-be shot on net for Ontario. That was a through ball played out to the corner. That's exactly what BC was doing to generate all their chances, and in the first half anyway. And
right now, BC is maintaining a lot of possession here. We see number 7 for Ontario.
And he's all by himself, so he's going to have to find a way to hold this up and let his teammates catch up to him. But
we see 5 BC players shut that down pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, 1-on-5 is not very good odds. Unless you're Messi, maybe. I don't even know if he, like, 5's maybe even a lot for him.
I think you'd have to be Robin to get through that one.
Oh no, then you're just gonna dive right away. Yeah, once again, this is going to be
4-on-1. Oh, he does have some help though.
He's strong on the ball.
See if the defender is going to control this. Have a look.
His first pressure.
And Harry Moore is going to use his speed. Well defended by Ontario. Number 5.
Oh, that's Chase, who I think was a little bit injured in the first half. Would have been subbed back on at half, so he might have just needed a stretch.
Could be if he's got some tight muscles. I imagine they've been practicing quite a bit leading up to this tournament.
Yeah, they would have had lots of training. I think all the teams got a day of practice yesterday, so they would have been able to feel what the turf is like and get acclimatized. It was hot yesterday, though.
There's another small bird in here.
There must be like a nest in the booth somewhere, and these flies just hibernated all winter. It's crazy. Ball's cleared out the end by the Ontario defender, so we'll see BC set up for another corner kick.
Number 32.
And this time,
Josh Wesley again.
yeah, everybody's back in the 18 for Ontario. So we do see the BC defenders step up a little bit more than they have been.
That was punched away by the keeper and then headed out by number 17 for Ontario. Jeremiah Bridge. Well played.
And once again, number 19, Josh Grant, has that ball come out to him just outside the 18 and tries to first time the shot, just goes high and wide. And everybody's back.
BC is in a flat line again. Oh, they're starting to reorganize themselves a little bit. Josh Wesley has dropped as far back as he can go with his defenders. Harry Moore with the ball. He will get a shot off.
Smart save. So
Nice.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that was a nice save from Kyle Kress.
It was, yep. And that was a nice shot. It was a nice little run through the middle. Didn't hold on to it too long. And he must be ambidextrous because he definitely took a left-footed shot earlier in the first half. And now we see him hit that one with his right. So it's always a nice little asset to have. Corners played in, cleared away by the defender. We're gonna see a shot here, yep.
That was a nice hit from number 19. Josh Grant. He's had a few of those today.
Yeah, that one was much better than the last attempt. Just high, I think.
He took his time on that one.
And it was a nice ball, too, to just play it across the top of the 18, knowing that he could step up onto that shot. I'm not sure who would have had the assist on that one, but it was a smart play. Long ball.
BC is doing an awesome job stepping up on these balls. I don't think Ontario has won one in the air since the half started.
Nice little turn.
You can see the teammates there telling him take his time, had some time. Just can't quite get there. That ball was a little bit too fast for Harry Moore. Oh, the sun is coming out.
The sun. It did rain for most of the day here, but it turned into not a bad afternoon. And even with the rain, it was warm.
I don't know. On the turf, though, I think you'd rather have some cooler weather because the turf gets very hot in the sun.
They would have been practicing yesterday. It was like 32 degrees. They might have some tired legs too, just from that. Oh. There we go. We see number 3, the defender for Ontario, try to take that ball wide, which is good.
And BC's had some nice possession here. See if they're gonna. Oh, and they are gonna switch the field. Nicely played.
And keeps coming wide.
Nice give and go between number 5 and number 6 for BC. And that ball will just go out on the end. It is going to be a corner.
We see the teams from Manitoba and Saskatchewan have started to arrive or warming up in the end zones now, so we will be covering that game live as soon as we're done with BC Ontario. We're just 22 minutes left to go in this one here, and it's still 1-0 at Libel Field in Regina. I believe with the U16 Boys Soccer, I was looking at the groups, and I think it's just the one pool of 5 teams in this division.
And he will call that a handball just outside the box.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do when somebody's rifling a shot at you from 5 feet away. But So there is Team BC, Manitoba, Northwest Territories, Ontario, and Saskatchewan in this group. So I guess Northwest Territories is the one with the bye today, but there's games in the soccer events going all week long.
I believe the Northwest Territories team was here watching this game earlier. I did see them sitting down just in front of us. And the Ontario wall is quite holy. They should be a little bit closer together. BC was not able to capitalize on their chance there. We did see it go out for a throw. And we're going to see a cross come into the box here. Just a little bit over the bar there.
BC definitely still looks the more energetic of the two teams. Still making some quick runs, some nice little ball movement.
Yeah, Ontario has been sitting back a lot this half.
As we see a sub coming in here, Liam Dodd is now out of the game. They've shuffled some bodies around. So it looks like number 10. Do we have a number 10 on the roster here? Oh, Gabe Hillbach has switched over to the left side in Dodd's spot, and they've moved number 9, Fraser Dodd, up front.
A nice step over from number 5.
And a good challenge by number 3, the defender for Ontario.
And we'll see that long ball go right back to BC's keeper, and he's going to pick it up and play it back out.
Is that his first action of the second half?
Yes.
Smart ball. This is Fraser Dodd with some fresh legs out there, so we'll see what he can do. I'm a little surprised he stayed onside for that. I couldn't see all the defenders, but
I think the far side defender was about one step behind him still.
yeah, that's definitely a foul against the BC defender, Zach Larson. He just stepped into the back of John Austin Ross as that ball was coming down to them. Just couldn't quite find the gap there. And it is still Ontario with the ball. Kind of.
We haven't seen Ontario with the ball as much as they did the first half. And they will give that ball away there at half again. And number 7 is going to try and fight his way through.
He just got sandwiched out of that. I like that he wants to turn an attack, though. It's a little extra burst of speed, and he would have been on a breakaway. Good win by the BC defender there, because number 17 was looking to make that run.
Nice ball from BC number 9.
And they will win another corner kick.
Well defended by number 19, however, for Ontario. It's Cordell Favot. This has got to be like the 15th corner kick.
Yeah, let's see what they can do with it here. They've got just one man back this time. Ooh. And somebody got up and got a head on it. And we've got number 19 for BC still with the ball here. Looks to play it in, but it is intercepted and cleared out ultimately by number 7 for Ontario. BC wins it back in the middle and plays it out wide.
And BC has a chance here, right in front of the net.
Uh-oh.
Well defended by Ontario. Their keeper is...
Yeah, we're going to have an injury with the goalie. He made a nice aggressive play to shut that down. But hopefully that's not serious.
They are calling on the coach here.
I'm going to see a replay here. Oh, I think we just missed it on our screen, but that could be a finger or a sting around his hand. Hopefully not too serious. So now let's see who's going to have to come into net for Ontario.
Hey.
Oh, we've got Med coming out now too. That's not good.
Can't quite see here either. There's a replay coming across the screen. Oh, I'm wondering if he landed on it or got stepped on there as he went down. Didn't see him go down.
Yeah, maybe just the way he landed on it.
Yeah, I think he might have landed.
That's really too bad. So now we've got a brave volunteer going in, and that is going to be...
Oh, he is wiggling all his fingers.
Oh, good.
You can see it there.
Good. Looks like John Austin Ross actually is going in net. He's putting on his white number 7. So he's been their striker. Isn't that funny? Every goalie thinks they're a forward when they're not playing in net, right?
It's not because they know where to place the ball.
Nowhere to shoot, yeah.
Okay, they're still checking out the keeper's hand and wrist, and he seems to be okay.
And that's probably their last sub of the game. Be their 4th at least. As we discussed earlier, you have maximum 5 substitutions to make during the game and unlimited at half. So you can jostle people around as much as you want at halftime, but during the game itself, you can only sub 5 times. And we're just over 12 minutes to go here in this one.
There's going to be a drop ball, and it looks like Ontario is going to play the ball back to BC as they had possession when the keeper went down. Some good sportsmanship.
Now, if you're BC, how much are you licking your lips seeing the backup keeper go in? Or a player who knows if he's ever played net?
Yeah, and he's had no warm-up.
Yeah.
So we
And
see
he's going to get his first action there.
he did step up quick and grab a hold of that ball. That was a nice boot.
Well kept. And then just played wide and out of bounds. So we'll have an Ontario throw in.
Sort of funny to watch because inevitably, at least in once in every game, somebody tries to throw it in from the white line.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things about playing on these fields. It's the same at the university field, which they're also using for this tournament. There you
Good stuff
go.
from the keeper. Huh? Backup's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, he went up and won that ball. But yes, with the fields, so the University of Regina turf field there, as well as the other venue for soccer. And it has the same thing. It's painted as a football field with the soccer lines also on it. And yeah, I don't think have we ever had a game there or here where somebody didn't try to throw from the wrong lines. It's a big field. There's a lot of space out here.
It definitely happens. And we did see a bit of a collision there when the two players went
Head
up.
to head. Aaron Myers wants everyone to know that he's thrown it in from the white lines before as well, so it's a common problem. Nice ball over top of the defenders there, as Ontario builds a little bit of an attack now. We see them in BC's end for one of very few times in this half. With just 9 minutes left to go, they're going to have to find some gas in the tank somewhere if they want to have an opportunity to tie this game up here. And I think it might be getting warm out there too. That sun's pretty nice coming in through the window.
Still some dark clouds though. Wonder which way they're going.
Oh, they'll probably be here just in time for our 9 o'clock game. So we've got a BC goal kick. Keeper looks to play a long ball up to the middle. And that is flagged out of bounds, so that should be an Ontario throw-in. A high, lofty throw to nobody. And then a long clear by the BC defender. So we'll see them play the ball back to their keeper, who we know is solid with his feet because we've seen him playing up front and taking on defenders. So no worries about passing it back to a player who is obviously a competent dribbler. Ontario looks to switch it into the middle, which is a nice ball, and it just got overran by the midfielder. Again, Ontario looks a bit tired. Their first touch is getting longer, and their passing is just not on point where it needs to be right now.
No, they seem to have lost a bit of a spark that we saw at the very beginning of the game.
However, 7 minutes left, and as we've said before, it just takes one bounce sometimes, so BC really is the team that has to keep focused at this point, because you hate to blow a lead that you've done so well to maintain this whole time, and really they've been the aggressor as well, generating more chances in the second half. So to have missed some opportunities, it would be a little bit tragic for them to just have one busted coverage that results in a tie game. Here we are with the BC corner kick though, and then we'll probably look to add here again.
Keeper came out really strong on that one.
Yeah.
Just misjudged it, but he made a good recovery. Kept the save anyways.
He gets a home team bounce on that.
We'll see Ontario push hard here.
Yeah.
BC dropped quickly, however.
I like what they looked to do, though, just in playing the ball back instead of attacking forward when you know there's 5 BC defenders. Just play it back and send it over into that space.
That sort of plays into Ontario's game. They've tried to maintain possession rather than force the ball. BC tends to push a little bit harder.
Hit those gaps. And so that was an interesting collision. I actually thought the 2 BC defenders more so took each other out, but they win the ball.
Well, the ref is saying it's on the ground and play it from there. Oh, a number 32 comes back to take free kicks on the line too. He's just everywhere.
Yeah. It's tough to tell if they've actually shuffled some bodies around or if he just came back for that kick and is taking his time getting back into position.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He kind of just roves around the field everywhere. Looks like BC's going to hold some of their players back again on this.
And this is going to be the first corner kick we've seen taken by anybody other than Josh Wesley. And it looks like it's Clark Matthews who's going to shift over there and take it. We see Wesley now is just in the middle of the field, almost in a stopper position. That's a well-played ball as well.
I'm thinking that it went out and came back in, however.
Oh.
Because the line assistant referee flagged that right away.
That's some crazy curve on that ball then, because it was out to the top of the 6 by the time it played in front of the net.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, no.
You know, Ontario's going to win it in the middle. Don't really have anywhere to go, and you're getting doubled again. And a cheeky little back heel to find his winger.
That will go Ontario. See if BC is going to try and slow the game down a little bit here. 3 minutes left, and they're up 1-0.
That's a nice through ball, but with BC's speed, just a tough one to get to for that Ontario attacker.
The defender will just safely play it out there for a throw so his team can drop back.
But Ontario started to look for that gap a little bit more, and that was the first time where they really found it. Nice switch. And then back into the middle for number 15? 19. Well, that's Cordell, and he has been he is a defender. He's been playing on the back line for the whole game, but you can see now just the push forward, trying to get those extra attackers in for Ontario, and he does really well to recover all the way back and defend that BC attack. You're going to need 2 more minutes of runs like that. And go wide.
Seen a bit of a spark here from Ontario. They're starting to put a little bit. There's a nice through ball.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. And that's a nice ball too. Little give and go.
Another one. Oh, I believe
just
that
got caught
our
offside.
first offside call.
I don't know if BC was trying to play the trap like that on purpose, or if it just they were expecting the ball. Ontario was maybe expecting the ball through a bit sooner, but snuffs out a nice little build-up by the Ontario attack. And we're now just over a minute away from regulation time here. We might see a little bit of added time. There was an injury to the keeper. And that will, of course, be at the ref's discretion. So we've got the teams for the next game, Saskatchewan versus Manitoba, warming up in the end zone, so they'll be ready to go.
Well played by number 19 for Ontario. Slid over to cut off that run. It was Cordell. BC's going to get a throw. Nice long throw into the box from BC. Will be cleared away by Ontario, however. The late slide is going to be called, and we're going to see a yellow card come out for number 9. Raylan Martin-Smith.
And your first slide tackle of the game.
Yeah. Too bad it was late.
The clock's at zeros here. It's 1-0 for BC against Ontario in the first game of the U16 Boys Soccer Division at North American Indigenous Games here in Regina. We're broadcasting live with Access 7 Sports and across the country, being picked up by various channels. So thank you for tuning in. As this game winds down, we will be covering the second game as well. Looks like one more free kick for BC here, at least before we're done. And they have no reason to rush this.
Ontario keeper will scoop that up.
He's done well since having to come in for the injured keeper.
Oh, miscommunication from BC there. Ontario's gonna, well, BC's gonna put that out for a throw. This might be Ontario's last chance.
Yeah. With zeros on the clock, I think they have to be sending everybody up at this point. And they're still going to have possession. They're going to need to move around a little bit more, but...
Down now! Leave it! Yep, you're here!
A long throw for BC. Played up to number 10.
Well controlled and played back to number 12. And into the middle for a shot.
And that went just over.
That was a nicely placed shot. Yeah, just over.
So in the last few minutes here, we see just another chance for BC, who really did come on strong. I would say Ontario dominated this game early in the first half. Better possession, some nice little tic-tac-toe passing. And BC was just able to break them down, I think, with speed. And really was sticking to a game plan. And there's the final whistle. So BC has won the first game here at North American Indigenous Games, 1-0 over Ontario. We're watching U16 Boys Soccer at Leibel Field, and we will be bringing you live Saskatchewan versus Manitoba next as we watch the guys celebrate their win. And we hear the fans outside rattling the whole structure. It's an exciting place to be on a Monday afternoon. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Carlin, I'm with Georgia, and you've been watching Access 7 Sports. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock.